All right, hello. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Today on the agenda, I've got a crocodile that impregnated itself. I've got a deer photobombing an orca's picture, and then I've got a little bit of an explanation on how geckos can just straight up climb walls. So, first and foremost, if you guys enjoy it, hit like, subscribe, comment what you guys think about the articles. If you guys found any of them interesting. But first and foremost, let's go to the crocodile. So it's a zoo in Costa Rica, and this crocodile has not had any contact with the male crocodile in over 16 years, so there's no possibility of that. And so she produced a fetus that was 99.9% genetically identical to herself. Obviously, mutations make that extra little 0.01, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have perfect, there's evolution, right? At some point, genetics change. And, other birds, fish, and lizards especially have done this sort of asexual offspring reproduction type deal, but this is the first time it's been recorded with an alligator. So, this led some scientists to wonder, what if dinosaurs had asexual reproduction as well? Maybe they laid their own eggs, or they had their own kids themselves. It's completely plausible at this point, because there is common ancestors that can do it and stuff, so, they call it a virgin birth, because there's no other partner. It's interesting. They say people should watch their crocodiles more now, because if it happened once, it could happen more than once. And they speculate that the reason that this typically happens or exists is either because of difficult environments that an animal could be facing, or it could be the possibility of extinction looming over an animal, that they kind of develop this feature. Obviously, a human couldn't just develop this, so it has to be a species that at least has some correlation with it. In this case, a crocodile is a lizard, so it was eventually possible, whether it was a genetic mutation or what. So now I'm curious to see if her kids can do it, which they should be, because if she could, her kids probably should be able to. So I think that'll be an interesting development in the future. That's pretty much it, though. It's just kind of cool. Crocodile reproduced itself, basically cloned itself, in all honesty. A deer photobombs the orca. It's in a small island northwest of San Juan Islands. It's in the States, but the water, it could have been in Canada. It's really close. I'll put the picture there, but you'll see that the borderline is very close to where it happened. And if they're saying northwest, it really is on the border where this happened. It's a pretty rare occurrence. They typically see a lot of deer swimming island to island over there. Common belief. Deers can actually swim really well, so they swim from island to island. The guy that took the picture is Sam Murphy. He's a marine biologist, and I believe he's part of the Pacific Whale Watch Association. So, they're used to seeing orcas, taking pictures of whales and all this, but it's, you don't see this often, where an orca's just sniffing a deer, essentially. But the deer wasn't really in any danger. Unlike sharks, orcas don't usually bite their targets to, get more info on them. So just seeing it and it's a vegetarian. The orca's not interested. The orca's more interested in the seals, sea lions, or fish. Typically salmon there, but it's too skinny. There's not enough meat. There's not enough fat. It's not good. And the orca specifically, his name is Cooper. He was born in 1992, so Cooper doesn't want to eat deer. But I get it. Why would you want to eat something that's just bones? It wouldn't give him much, right? So it's not the fattiness that he likes. I think that's all for the orca. And on gecko grip. So the geckos grip to surfaces due to millions of microscopic pads on their feet, which all people see those little chubby little nubs they got going at the tip of their feet. So basically how that works is they have lamellae, which is covered in hairs that are called setae, which are shaped they have these little spatula-shaped branches at the tip of them, which are spatulae, if you will. And at the tips of these, they have their atoms are neutral. So when it brushes on surfaces, essentially, the neutral charges create a van der Waals force, which allows them to just stick to whatever they want because of how many they have. And for those that don't know, van der Waals force is it's it's not like magnets. So you have the ionic and covalent bonds, which are plus to negatives like magnets, but this is just neutral to neutral. But it needs a lot, it's really close. It's basically, have you ever water bended in the shower where you stick your pinkies out or your hands or whatever, and the water just kind of glosses off of you for some reason and it flies off. It's basically that. The water is just so close together and to your skin that without the charge, it'll kind of stick together. Like the electrons kind of start dancing with each other almost. I'm not a scientist, but that's like, you get it. And so basically with their little brush toes, when they brush up against something, it literally creates such a charge or like a Van der Waals force that they just stick to everything. And if they used all of their millions of CD all at once, it would be strong enough to hold around like 2 humans, which is wild. That is impressive. That is a cool way to climb. And yeah, so the how they remove it is they kind of curl their toes upwards, which creates distance between their stubs and the wall or whatever surface they're climbing, and that extra distance removes like the ability to grip. So they just curl their toes up and they can move their foot, and then they curl it back down, and then it just becomes like glue again. So Stanford University has been creating a nanomaterial inspired by geckos to climb walls. Well, maybe not to climb walls, but it's a very sticky product that once it latches onto something, it has a very hard time letting go of it unless you put it at another angle or create distance between the object and the grip. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed all that, hit the like I said before. But you guys have a great day, and that's it. See ya.